And for anybody who's been around this environment on a tour, who've been conveniently quiet, your silence is just as loud as those gunshots that went into Mr. Carroll.
Yo, what's up? This bruh man from the fifth floor, and you tuned in to Forgotten Kings TV.
Earlier this week, comedian Reggie Carroll was finally laid to rest after tragically being gunned down in a home in South Haven, Mississippi on August 20th. According to reports, the man arrested for the murder of Reggie Carroll, who goes by the name of Trenell Williams, apparently works as security for Cat Williams on his Heaven on Earth comedy tour. Okay, now according to the DA, it's still unclear as to what happened between Trenell and Reggie Carroll. However, he was able to confirm that a 12-gauge shotgun was fired multiple times in the murder of Reggie Carroll. Okay, now according to the reports, they're saying that Trenell and Reggie Carroll were roommates in this home, and for whatever reason, Trenell felt the need to use a 12-gauge shotgun multiple times. All right, now of course, a lot of people have been wondering, where's Cat Williams, right? A lot of comedians, close friends and family of Reggie Carroll has been asking, where's Cat Williams? Because again, to everyone's knowledge, right, those who are close to Reggie, Reggie's been on tour working with Cat, right? As of right now, they are on a break, and the tour is getting ready to pick back up on the 19th. You get what I mean? So, of course, a lot of unanswered questions because, again, no one seems to know what happened to Reggie Carroll. And the fact is he's working, right, with someone who is hired as security. You know, how could this man get gunned down, you know, in such a brutal way, right? And for the record, the shooter has already bonded out as of September 5th. So, again, no one seems to know what happened. And already the man has, you know what I mean, bailed out. All right, now I did some digging and they letting it be known online. Do your research. You'll see. It's rare that a person is granted a bail for murder. So again, as of today, no one has seemed to heard from Cat Williams and no one seems to know nothing. All we know is Reggie lost his life on August 20th, right? Confirmed by reports stating that the person who took his life was a security guard working on this comedy tour. Now, again, according to reports, both Reggie and Trenell were roommates in this home. Now, last week, No Jumper, right, and platforms affiliated with No Jumper, they released random clips showing this altercation between Reggie Carroll and Trenell Williams. Okay, now again, still unclear as to is this the video, you know, leading up to the events. Again, there was some conflicting timestamps on the video, but a lot of people are upset because they believe these videos being released are an attempt to, you know, create a narrative surrounding Reggie Carroll. So what I did, I went into the vault and pulled out some exclusive footage to show the other side that No Jump and these other platforms are not showing, okay? You're not going to see this clip anywhere else outside of Forgotten Kings TV because, again, this was just last year. Reggie Carroll celebrating the Big 51. You know what I mean? Like I said, we did a lot of work leading up to him going on that tour because he was serious about getting the opportunity. And like I said, seeing platforms release these clips on the day of Reggie Carroll's viewing, it just made people feel as if a narrative is being created to show Reggie Carroll in a certain light, right, as the aggressor, because again, these videos, you know, they haven't been confirmed to be released from the DA or police because again, from what we know, an investigation is still happening. You get what I mean? So these clips being released, again, what is the reason? From what I'm seeing, it's not really adding context. It's just showing Reggie in a certain light. So like I said, I just wanted to show Reggie in a positive light because this is the man I know. Okay, from the clips that I seen that was released on social media, it was obvious that man was being agitated, annoyed by this Trenell Williams. And for the record, on the video, Cat Williams' name is being mentioned. You get what I mean? So, you know, by this video, there was some type of issue involving Trenell and Reggie Carroll. So again, before you start to look at these random clips being uploaded, I feel like it was just my job, me having a personal relationship with Reggie, to show Reggie in a different light. Because again, until we get all of the facts, we still don't know what happened. But one thing we do know, it's been almost a month, and Reggie, you know, finally was laid to rest, but we still don't know what happened. You get what I mean? And it's unfortunate because those who were close to Reggie, we were all under the, understanding that he was on the road working, stacking money. You know what I mean? But as you can see here, this is Reggie with my little dog Mason, my little son. You know what I mean? Reggie was chill. So, of course, when you see Monique, who recently went viral for calling out Tyler Perry, she's been on that campaign, right? Reggie Carroll, he worked with Monique. They go back in the day together. You know what I mean? A lot of people are wondering, how come none of the comedians who work with Reggie Carroll in this security, how come no one has said anything? Everyone has just kept their mouth closed. Now, of course, this is exclusive footage from the service, of Reggie Carroll this week, just to show y'all that, people are now having to move on. We understand this is all a part of life. However, like I said, those who are close to Reggie, fam, close friends, they still have unanswered questions. And this is the part that's very baffling. Now, comedian Billy Sorrells, he went ahead and called out Monique, okay, who recently said she is not backing down from calling out Tyler Perry. You get what I mean? But however, she hasn't said one word, about this incident involving Reggie Carroll, who, again, is a close friend of Monique and Cat Williams. So, you know what I'm saying? They go back. All right, now, when it comes to Monique and her beef with Tyler Perry, as we all know, this has been going on for years, okay? Some of her fans are begging Mo, let it go, okay? Move on. However, Monique took to IG earlier today to let fans know she will not stand down when calling out Tyler Perry, okay? Now, Billy Sorrells, moments ago, he took to IG to call out Monique for having all of this energy for Tyler Perry and yet having nothing to say about the murder of her close friend, Reggie Carroll. Okay, now for the record, the comedians working with Cat on the Heaven on Earth tour, they've been on break. Okay, most of the comedians went home except Reggie and the security. So this is why a lot of people are wondering, what happened? Why didn't Reggie come back home, right? Well, for the record, the next date is September 19th. And as of today, no one has seen Cat Williams publicly, right? He just had a birthday. It just seems as if everyone who worked with Reggie on the tour has just been quiet, tight-lipped. No one's saying anything, all right? Now, this is a picture of one of the celebrations that took place early this week honoring Reggie Carroll on the West Coast. A lot of these comedians you see, very familiar with, right? Like I said, a lot of people had a good relationship with Reggie Carroll. I understand with some of these clips that have been released, like I said, people believe that it's an attempt to paint Reggie in a certain light. So this is why I wanted to just show y'all, you know what I mean, that Reggie just wasn't this aggressive man. And despite the mainstream media moving on and everyone just remaining silent when it comes to Reggie Carroll and what happened to him involving the security, people still want answers, all right? It's going on a month, and we still have to wait and hear exactly what happens after the investigation is over. But like I said, let's get into this clip involving Billy Sorrells calling out Monique. Again, y'all let me know. What are your thoughts on Billy calling out Monique and her silence on the murder of her close friend Reggie Carroll? Do you think he has a valid point, considering we coming up on a month and no one seems to know what happened to Reggie Carroll? Okay, again, this is a man who was known both Cat and Monique for over 20 years. Okay, they go back in the day. So how is it that no one seems to know what happened? The shooter has bailed out, okay, right? He came home before Reggie was even laid to rest. You get what I mean? And yet no one seems to know nothing. So again, is Billy wrong for calling out Monique and her silence? Do you think he has a valid point, considering she has all of this smoke for Tyler Perry and nothing to say about her close friend Reggie Carroll? Again, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. But that being said, let's get right to it.
My sweet babies. I'm back, my sweet babies. For those of you who didn't see, no, why did they do that? Why do they do that? My sweet, sweet babies. Oh, my babies. Now, why would they do that? Why do they? I'm not going to let it go, my sweet babies. I'm not going to be off it until my babies my sweet babies.
That's why when people say, Monique, when you going to stop with Tyler and Oprah? I'm not. Just so we clear, I'm not. Because we've gotten so used to letting it go and moving on. Well, where does that come from? Let it go. That dates all the way back to slavery. Just don't say nothing. Just keep moving on. And that's why we continue to be treated the way that we get treated. So for me, my babies, I won't let go and I won't move on from that. Doesn't mean I'm bitter. I'm not angry. And I love my brother and sister or my sister and sister. Whatever day Tyler chooses, whichever way he goes, I love all of them. However, wrong is wrong and right is right. And until we start standing on what is right, we will continue to be treated wrong.
I'm glad you said that. My sweet babies. And this is for you and Kat. What my brother and sister, or my sister and sister. Whatever he wants to be identified at. You know, it's so interesting, my sweet baby, that as I said before those bots came in from India that were not good bots at all and crashed my live with false reports, that my sweet baby, I'm going to remind you, sweet baby, that Hollywood didn't know that when you played that role in Precious, you were actually doing an impersonation of your real self in real life. The danger is when actors don't have to stretch, as they say in the industry, to play a role. I personally feel like when you play a bitter, maniacal, sexually deviant, abusive person, and you allow a sexually deviant, maniacal, deviant person to be in your constant company and then conveniently become quiet for no accountability. Last time that I checked, and that comes from the book of Nipsey Hussle, last time that I checked, Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey didn't have somebody that they knew for 30 years that was gunned down while he was in the company working for a comedic company of Mr. Williams and his bodyguard. As a native of the area, because you've known Mr. Carroll way longer than I. Your tenure in business dealings is way more deeper than mine. Mr. Carroll didn't walk around yelling my name. He yelled yours, and he yelled Mr. Williams' name constantly in his life. Now, I'm not sure if he was yelling Mr. Williams' name in the middle of his death, but that's a whole nother story. I guess we'll never know that. Only person who knows that is him and God and whoever else was there. But as we go on, my sweet baby, I like how you tried to deflect the media with your recent post of stories to focus it and reshift it to Mr. Perry and Miss Winfrey when they billionaires, sweet baby, and you need to be worried about your friend that died that was yelling your name out his whole life while he was in the company of somebody that was abusing not only his own children, and you can look at the CPS reports for that, for those that you want to say it's a defamation. Those things is already there. So if you want to go look at CPS, you can look at the CPS records in California. I can give you the address if you like, and you can go do that and do what I've done and listen to the 911 calls and the many calls that were going on out there in Los Angeles, California with Cat Williams and his adopted kids and his real kids. Also, the convenient fact that while all this is going on, these sacrifices these convenience of quietness while asking others to respond to you. Maybe they're not responding to you right now because they think that you need to handle this situation that's going on with Mr. Carroll and Mr. Cat Williams in the tour and in the comedy world. That's where your voice is needed at. I don't think they need you on no producing parts. I don't think that's your calling, baby. My sweet baby. Because you haven't produced no edges in the last 10 years, and we still keep letting you talk as much as you want to, sweet baby. And I mean, I guess those glasses is only bifocal, and because they can only see half of the bisexuals that you are around that you're trying to call out. So, and also, since we're at it, I would like for you guys to please tag the media who are reporting this, because as we move forward, I think it's fair. We've given it some time, and I was quiet in respect of Mr. Carroll's arrangements last week. But as I've been told, and as I understand, and as your video said, we're not letting this go. No, my sweet baby, thank you. Because we're going to start this week off with a bang of you bringing that ass here and sitting that ass down. You know, I want to address some things, because I have some people that have some things to say. One of the most important things that we need to do, tag Shade Room, Hollywood Unlocked. Somebody tag Tasha K. Shout out Tasha K. Tag 5150, Corey Holcomb. Tag all of the other outlets that have been covering this story since the beginning of it, because as my brother-in-law's Instagram name is Arc of Truth, I think there's some things that we need to clear up. There is a very disparaging video that's being passed around about Mr. Carroll. And it's so sad that it's being done. And I'm really just sad that you thought that we was that stupid. As these unofficial outlets who are officially posting videos without context, I want to add for the record of the people to realize that the video that you showed was from July 29th at 10 a.m. when it's unfortunately the sad statement to say that my brother was killed on August 20th, and the coroner's report said he was reported to be called in to be dead at 6 p.m. So I'm going to say that again. The video you showed was from July 29th, 2025 at 10 a.m., which is already noted on the camera. But Mr. Carroll became deceased on August 20th, 6 p.m. Also, while we're at it, I'll let you know a couple things for those people, because I feel like we got to teach about what the law is. Just conveniently so you can know. You do understand that if there is an evidenced item, which is an exhibit, that would be an exhibit in the case of the prosecution as a form of defense, you would have this listed as a official piece of evidence, which if they can't talk during an active investigation, they for sure can't release pieces of evidence in an active investigation, because pieces of evidence speak to the case. More specifically, that particular video is not an official video. It is not listed as an exhibit inside of what the district attorney has. So that means it has been not verified. We're not even going to get into artificial intelligence. We're just going to get into the fact that the metadata on the video and the video itself has to be very much verified, and it will be listed and released officially from the DA's office. See, they release pieces of when they are trying to get the public to think a certain way. This is what attorneys do. But it comes from the news. You understand? There's a press conference. These public items are made available, and the news themselves would have verified availability to actually post these things and say, this is from the night in question, because it's already verified. Conveniently, Mr. Williams has made donations to certain members of the No Jumper team financially in support, while he conveniently is not giving any money to his dying father. That's strange. So your father's dying, but you give money and things. Somebody tell Darren Fleet, who is my homeboy, I am on live right now. Can y'all tag Darren Fleet? Somebody tag Darren Fleet. Also, the boss talked to Pops. Shout out to them for being here. While we're going through this, we just want to reflect one more time how we got here. And when I say that, I really want y'all to understand. Shout out Baltimore. For Monique to be saying that she's not going to let it go. Wait, I'm sorry. One more time. Just in case you didn't hear.
That's why when people say, Monique, when you going to start with Tyler and Oprah? I'm not. Just so we clear, I'm not. Because we've gotten so used to letting it go and moving on. Well, where does that come from? Let it go. That dates all the way back to slavery. Just don't say nothing. Just keep moving on. And that's why we continue to be treated the way that we get treated. So for me, my babies, I won't let go and I won't move on from that. Doesn't mean I'm bitter. I'm not angry. And I love my brother and sister, or my sister and sister. Whatever day Tyler chooses, whichever way he goes, I love it.
And I want to let you know, I'm not bitter. I'm not angry. I love my brother and sister, or my sister and sister. Whatever day Mr. Williams wants to go with another man the way he wants to go. And if anybody knows, I know. I find it. Never mind. It's conveniently interesting for what we should be worried about. So again, let's recap. When you put out edited videos of people talking off screen, well, one, I want to address the video in question. And if someone would like to make some money off content, that's fine. I'm not trying to make any money off this. You can do it. Take the video and put it in succinct with the video below it. There's 2 videos that were posted on No Jumper, and those videos are of a day in question, which is July 29th, 2025 at 10 a.m. And not to be confused with put those 2 videos on top of each other. There's a point in which Mr. Carroll draws a weapon. I want you to understand there's a video of a camera on a tripod that he clearly sees is on. At the same time, Mr. Trenell Williams is walking up to the door, closes the door, goes outside the door. And while the weapon that Mr. Carroll has is drawn, the door is closed. So there couldn't be a perceived threat unless he had on glasses that were synced to the camera that showed him what was going on the other side of the door. Or he's Superman, Kal, last son of fucking Krypton, and he can see through a door. There was no threat. In which case, Mr. Carroll put his weapon back away. Also conveniently noted that when Mr. Williams, who's 6'8", 270 pounds, prior murder convictions and cases that he's been paid to beat, and assaults and other things that have gone on, since we just want to be so slanderous and so maniacal of a person who is dead to speak, to say that, as if you don't have a record. If you notice in the video or you walk outside, you will see a vehicle. So if by chance, right, this happened to be the day in question, well, in court, it's not going to hold up because you can't lie in wait. Lie in wait means you thought that there was a perceived conflict which would be necessary for lethal force, but instead of leaving the situation, you waited to make a response versus leaving the property. You could have gotten in the car, could have walked down the street. But then, maybe, just maybe, who's advising you? Because here's the most damaging part of your video, sir. My professional opinion, which should not be taken much, but going by the track record of how this case has been going and how things are being just quietly swept away, we'll just say this. It's more to the contrary. Why would you, who's effeminately afraid and now using the justification that you had to use lethal force in any type of conflict, who had a 30-day notice and then conveniently prior further notice of concern, well, why would you go back into a cohabitated space with someone you felt that you had to use lethal force on? Lethal force means I fear for my life. I have no other way to get away. Well, you had an exit. You had a vehicle. You could have Ubered. I'm sure you guys, are smart. Also, well, better get Mako, because you're just now given 2 other exhibits of premeditated murder. Yeah, that's the part. And also, you've also made good case and grounds to where in a wrongful death case, which doesn't matter if you paid the family or some members of the family or did whatever you needed to do or whatever you thought you needed to do or whatever you did, all of his heirs are welcome to get millions of dollars, because since you had video record that there was an issue of a problem, that in which case, and let me be clear about this, I don't have a personal problem with Mr. Williams, Trenell. I don't hate you. I hate the company that you've kept. I hate the fact that as a youth, you were exposed to a group of people who have led your life in the direction that it is. Let me say that again. Trenell, I don't hate you. I hate the company you have kept. I hate the decisions that you had to make. And I hate that you believed this is the life that you should have had to live. If you were exposed to this environment, it's only further indicative of the environment that you are around. And for anybody who's been around this environment on a tour, who've been conveniently quiet, your silence is just as loud as those gunshots that went into Mr. Carroll. Because Mr. Carroll, a military veteran who served our country, let's start there. While we're talking about Mr. Carroll, while he's deceased, potentially, and I can't factually say this, to potentially maybe be receiving some form of disabled veteran pay. There's a clause once you hire a disabled vet, they're protected in their status of where they work at. That means you have to provide and accommodate a work environment for them that is safe to not trigger and cause further PTSD. So, essentially, while we talk about Mr. Carroll posthumously, why would he fear his life so much if he had to draw a weapon at a said time, which we can't speak on? I just feel that it's in bad taste, it's ill-natured. But also I want to say this. For those of people who are out here speaking to the DA of DeSoto County and the good people of South Haven, Mississippi, we'll say this. This all could have been avoided. It will come out. It will be put out. It can be found just based on the address of any calls, just like those tapes from Young Thug, Baltimore. It's called an open records request. Any public person in the United States can do it. You can do a public records request to ask for the phone calls that Mr. Williams made while he was in jail. I mean, if it was a RICO case and Young Thug's calls got out, we definitely know that these could come out, because why wouldn't they? It's public record. Then you can also back and look up all of the 911 tapes from the address. You can also look up how many assaults occurred at the address. You can also look up other cases that happened at the address or other addresses. I think today's class lesson should be left on a high note. I think that, and I'm sure that justice will be served at some point. And to the district attorney, who so conveniently responded to all of the things that I said, I will say this. If Mr. Williams is cleared of involvement, then why would Trinell Williams post a video posing to be the time in question of the murder of Mr. Carroll when they're both saying Cat Williams' name? So the murder tape for defense has Cat Williams being called to the scene. Wait, you understand? So if this is the day in question to show that Mr. Carroll was belligerent or whatever they're saying, or aggressive, then why was it that Mr. Cat Williams' name is being mentioned in the tape? Why would he put that out if he didn't have any involvement? Help me understand that. Because in the tape it says, he on the way up here. And when he said that, Mr. Carroll was still alive. So that means he had time to make it to the scene. So that means the only way he could be cleared as the person who was the shooter, and the only reason why he would have to be quiet because of the active investigation and not be vocal in his support of Reggie Carroll, is if, and only if, he was a witness. And by witness, I mean two things. Witness would mean you're a character witness, because who in South Haven, Mississippi, for these two guys who happen to be roommates, who happen to live less than 900 feet from your ranch, Cat Williams, Let's say it again. Just like other places, history repeats itself. People are creatures of habit. In other places that Mr. Cat Williams has lived, he's always kept his thug mansion or guard house conveniently close to his main residence. So, again, if the house that Mr. Cat Williams, the ranch, that's people can search and tell you where it is 1,000 feet away from where Reggie's body was found, which is 400 feet away from the home where Mr. Williams and Mr. Carroll were residing, then it wouldn't have taken very long to get to the scene. You probably could have heard the gunshots. Look up 12-gauge shotgun and tell me how far those sounds go away. That means if a 12-gauge shotgun goes off and you less than 1,000 feet away, you would have heard it. There's no way you didn't. My sweet baby, you guys are going to have to do a lot better. The whole team is going to have to do a lot better. If you go back to the first video, I told you that there's 3 things they're going to do. They're going to first mislead, then deflect, then destroy Mr. Carroll's character. They want to damage the public perspective optically of who he is. And use that, because who in the local community is going to be able to speak to the character of these 2 men who are roommates? Who can tell you effectively as a witness the things about these 2 guys who you conveniently have worked with for the last 10 to 15 years? Hey, I'm nobody. But even a nobody can see stuff when it doesn't make sense. So, again, for those of you guys, before we go out, let's remind everybody where we are.
That's why when people say, Monique, when you gonna start with Tyler and Oprah? I'm not. Just so we clear, I'm not. Because we've gotten so used to letting it go and moving on. Well, where does that come from? Let it go. That dates all the way back to slavery. Just don't say nothing. Just keep moving on. And that's why we continue to be treated the way that we get treated. So for me, my babies, I won't let go and I won't move on from that. Doesn't mean I'm bitter. I'm not angry. And I love my brother and sister, or my sister and sister. Whatever day Tyler chooses, whichever way he goes, I love all of them.
Yeah, and whichever way Mr. Cat Williams wants to go, brother and sister, sister and brother, sister and sister, sister. If y'all want to be Pinky and the Brain, T and Tamara, Foghorn and Leghorn, uppercase A, lowercase a, my sweet baby, then y'all do that. Y'all have a good day. Tag the Shade Room. Tag Jasmine Brand. Big shout out to Hollywood Unlocked. Because we got to get the word out. I don't care about monetizing this. This don't matter. Just do what y'all need to do. Eat how you need to. My sweet baby. I mean, we know Monique is eating right now while she's watching it. She looked like she just ate. But what else is crazy is her edges is eating up, and that's the crazy part. It's just like, where does that come from? Where does that come from? No, it's not. It's hidden like the distance between her chin and her shoulders, where her neck is hitting at. Just like they tried to hide the real answers to what's going on. So while we here, and speaking of things that's hidden, all things in 2024 and 2025 is going to be brought to the light. And it's crazy, Mr. Cat Williams, you said that. And it's coming true. Tell us what happened to your son, Malachi. Tell us what happened. Why was he in such distress that Malachi needed to kill himself? This is not me speaking ill of your son. It's more to the silence of the guilt that you have. See, I recognize patterns here. It's already documenting that there was abuse in that home. And listen, we've all made our mistakes, but yeah, you know, what was happening to him to where a 15-year-old needed to end his own life on your watch? Death is a familiar spirit around you. And I won't let you make it a familiar spirit around comedy. Mr. Carroll will be the last. There will be no more. It stops. I can post videos about being funny. I got thousands of videos to post. And tell us that. Tell us why you didn't have your mom or your dad or your brother go to the funeral. Because you was quiet about that. So what? Let me guess. You got a posthumous set of comments that you're going to say about your son as to why you didn't have no responsibility and the feelings that he felt as to even make that decision at 15? No? Where was your antennas? All right, let me do this. Block him. Hey, you got to get up out of here. He get on my nerves. All right, boy. I'm going to show you the door. Yeah, you throwing up out of here. So, yeah. You got the attention you need. Okay. Talk later.
From the ghetto streets of Charm City brings you Tank Top Tony. Tank Top Tony is no average motherfucker. He's looking to put in work whenever he reads up. Tank Top Tony, 15 years of probation, alcohol and child support, AA meetings, reneging on spades and shit like that. Due to Tank Top Tony's criminal background, he can't get a decent paying job, so he's waiting to re-up. Tank Top Tony said when he ever re-up again, he gonna shit on these niggas. Tank Top Tony said he gonna let his pants sag and his balls drag. Tank Top Tony, the one and only. He talks shit and hard spit. What up, Lump? And introducing Titty Lorraine. Tank Top Tony. I hope our tank top's dry. Tank Top Tony.
MREC TV.
We mentioned Vlad TV.
Right.
Now, put me on. What's going on? Why he put your name in a bad light? Like, what's going on?
He was a part of that whole Kading, Reggie Wright, now Whack 100. He was a part of that whole team out there in Cali that was spreading false information by the death of Biggie Smalls.
So they get the nigga and shit. So man, they put him on a car on the ground and shit. They rob him and shit. Like, the feel me, the shotty, I sawed it off myself, so I know that shit do real damage. TM had that shit to the nigga head, and I'm thinking to myself, it ain't even over no real money. I'm already about to go to jail. And I said, nah. And the nigga eased up off him. You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was kind of terrified because I ain't even want to see that. Like, I'm one of them niggas like, I'll pat at you, but I ain't running up on you and shooting you in the face and then standing over you, hitting you 12 times. I'm not psychotic like that. Like, you feel me? If I did it, it was over some money or over some disrespect. So I was out to prove a point, not to, you know, maim or disfigure nobody. Like, I'm not a psycho type shit. Like, you feel me? Like, so, you know what I'm saying? That was a terrifying moment for me because I ain't want to see that, and I'm about to get sentenced. You feel me?
Have you lived the life the streets tried to write for you, but ultimately found your own ending? Do you have a story of survival, betrayal, or redemption? We're looking for real people with real experiences to share their truth. If the streets tried to break you, but you made it out, we want to hear from you. Hit us up now to be a part of The Streets Is a Myth.
She couldn't stay. I don't be wanting no distractions when I'm starting my day. I'm facing 20 years in jail. I don't got no time to...
Thank you for watching my video. If you like what you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And also, hit that notification bell to get the latest on hip-hop, sports, comedy, whatever. All right, we got you covered over here at Forgotten Kings TV. And also, click on one of these videos, okay?